The first headline. No end to Mamata Banerjee's woes as another Trinamool Congress MP Koel Mullik resigns from Rajya Sabha seat. Teacher accused of giving Kalna recitation as homework to students in Hyderabad suspended by school. BJP workers protest outside the school. Raipur Consumer Court's ruling on E20 fuel. Court directs Maruti Suzuki to either replace the complainant's car with a new E20 compatible model or refund the full purchase price. And now in On Point. For decades, ISRO has been one of India's greatest success stories. From launching satellites at record low costs to placing a spacecraft on the moon. To preparing for India's first human spaceflight mission, the organization has become a symbol of scientific excellence and national pride. But today, ISRO is facing a challenge that no rocket or spacecraft can solve. It is losing its scientists. The Department of Space has now stepped in to halt what officials describe as a spate of resignations from some of India's most critical space programs. According to reports, between 100 and 120 scientists have either resigned or sought voluntary retirement in recent months. The departures are not from routine projects. They include scientists associated with Gaganyaan, India's ambitious human spaceflight mission, as well as key personnel who contributed to missions like Chandrayaan 3 and other flagship programs. The concern is serious enough that the Department of Space has issued a fresh internal order. It has been learned that under the new rules, resignations and voluntary retirement requests from scientists working on Gaganyaan and other nationally important missions will no longer be cleared in routine. In fact, center directors have now been told not to approve such requests on their own. Instead, every case must be sent to the Department of Space for a final decision. Critical national missions cannot be disrupted by sudden departures of experienced scientists. The agency has struggled to meet some of its launch targets. In 24-25, ISRO completed only 9 of the 22 planned launches, while 15 launches were achieved against a target of 21 in 25-26. ISRO Chairman D.V. Narayanan has acknowledged that scientists are leaving but insists the organization is prepared to manage the situation. His argument is that every institution experiences attrition and responsibilities can always be reassigned. But the larger question is whether replacing highly specialized scientists is really that simple. A mission manager who helped validate Chandrayaan 3's moon landing, a project director leading a launch vehicle program, or scientists working on India's first human space flight. These are not positions that can be filled overnight. The challenges also goes beyond numbers. ISRO has 14,000 employees and recruitment is already underway for more than 1,000 new positions. Yet, the latest order itself acknowledges that losing experienced scientists from strategic missions can directly affect projects of national importance. So the big question is India witnessing an ISRO brain drain or simply the evolution of a larger space industry from which ISRO is not untouched? On this issue, I am joined by Group Captain V.N. Jha, Senior Scientist, former Joint Director DRDO, another Senior Scientist, noted voice, Gauhar Raza. I am also joined by Dr. Ram Srivastav, ex-ISRO scientist. Thank you all of you. Let me take this opportunity to go to Dr. Ram Srivastav first. So I have two sets of questions. We'll begin with the first. Why are people or top-notch scientists leaving ISRO?
The reason is very simple, because they have got very open opportunities out of ISRO. The private organizations are now taking active part in development of space science in our country. So people are just getting the better future there. That's why they are trying to get the VRS. Anyway, another points are also very, very important, which cannot be ignored. Number one is that the retirement age of the scientist there is again 60 years only. And a person who is joining the ISRO is nearly at about 30 years of age. And within such a nice experience, when he is capable of doing something very good in other countries, retirement age is directly connected with their achievements technically. But in our country, all ISRO scientists, they are being governed by the fundamental rules which were designed by the Britishers, and those rules are still working like that. A third important point is ISRO is under the watch of the foreign spies. I know that it is very well known. Nambi Narayanan case, it was charge was given to him that he is selling the secrets of the ISRO to other countries. And he suffered a lot. Ultimately, it was the Supreme Court who turned out all those charges. Similarly, there is another case of Mr. Dr. Praveen Modia. He has written the complaint of the Kerala police to the government. So this type of frustration is always there, and the life of the people there is not very, very safe as far as the professional life is concerned. Other thing is people are just avoiding the service of ISRO, as I know very in detail, because of the technique of writing confidential report. The CR is the device by which the evaluation of the performance of the person is recorded. But this may be true in the civil services, in professional services, in technical services. The achievement must be there, and that achievement should grade the people. But here, in order to just make happy our senior person, some of the talented persons, they are being thrown out from this particular strain. Anyway, these are the parameters which can be controlled by changing absolutely the entire administration pattern. So administration pattern is also responsible for this type of frustration which the scientists are getting, and they are getting better opportunities out of the ISRO. So they are now trying to leave it. But it will affect our mission. So the ISRO has taken a very wise decision that VRS will not be recommended until the mission is complete. So let us hope it will work. Otherwise, we will have to investigate that entire matter, and we should find out the scientific pattern, what are the lacunas in our administration, and how they can be removed, so that the scientists should utilize their skill and should work in the free and good atmosphere. As far as spying part is concerned, it is there. Every country who is jealous of our Indian research development, they are just peeping inside and trying to collect what is happening.
We'll come to that spying, sir. Dr. Srivastava will come to that. Let me take opening comments from Mr. Gohar Raza. So your opening comments, brain drain in ISRO?
Of course, and it's a very, very worrying thing. This report has shaken me, but I think that I agree with my colleague here, who says that it's a matter of concern and there is frustration. It is an
Is it pay frustration? Is it work frustration? Is it work atmosphere frustration? What's the issue?
So, but that is a part which can only be revealed once an investigation is done properly, that why people are leaving, but it concerns the entire nation. If you ask me, the report that you quoted also says that about 700 people have left ISRO during 12 years, that is 2012 to 2024. This is a very misleading figure, because if you look at it, then the average people who left ISRO, average scientist or anybody who left ISRO, is about 60 per year. But here the same report says that about 120 people have left within a few months, and they have left. The ISRO administration and Department of Space have been sleeping for such a long time, because these are not issues which have cropped up just now. People have left, and these are the people who are repository of scientific knowledge, which has made ISRO one of the gems of the country. and people are leaving. Therefore, it should have been investigated much earlier rather than after people have left in such a large number.
Okay.
Coming to the reasons that you talk about, in my opinion, the entire nation and especially scientific institutions have been on the receiving end from Department of Science and Technology, from Department of Biotechnology, where they are being pushed to do pseudoscience in the country. And the entire atmosphere in the country has been anti-science as of now. Ministers and including Prime Minister, they have been making extremely irresponsible comments. So this creates also frustration among the top-notch scientists. The top-notch institutions of our country are being headed by people who have given anti-science and pseudoscientific kind of statements with impunity. Now, in this atmosphere, obviously, a scientist who is committed to scientific investigation and open-ended research is going to feel frustrated. Coming to ISRO, I think that ISRO, because of ISRO, India became partner in a very small exclusive club. And it is not the walls and facilities and things like that which create an ambience to do best research. That is important. But it's people whose commitment to science leads to a situation where you become a leading country in space sciences.
Okay.
Now, it is extremely worrying at the moment that there is a brain drain from ISRO. My colleague also pointed out that it's privatization. Yes, of course, it could be privatization, but we as children, when we were growing up, it was a prestigious thing to think about ISRO.
Okay, Mr. Raza, I'll come. Let me just take opening comments from everyone.
Now, why? Let me just complete one sentence. Why today private sector has become a place to go to? That should be investigation.
Okay. Group Captain B.N. Jha, sir, to you. What's the real issue? Because there is a second part to this conversation on which I'm also very much interested, something which you had suggested me a long time back. The send-offs, the space send-offs have reduced.
Karthikeyan, there could be more than meets the eyes here. Of course, Mr. Srivastav, Mr. Raza, they have given their views. But I can tell you, being in the DRDO, having worked as a design scientist, I know there are many things. We are not straightway looking for the pay and perks. We enjoy our work culture much more if we get the job satisfaction. And the reward for our effort, if it relates in the terms of a successful design and development, that is what is there. That is the best actually reward for us, we scientists. Most of us, we are slightly introvert. The other things also could be playing some role, but not a major role. Look, if I am able to do my R&D in ISRO or in DRDO, which sees the light of the day, then I'm much more satisfactory with the pay packages that I have here compared to anyone else if I go to private. Of course, there is no denial that today many of the private agencies in the ISRO, in the space sector have come up, and it will continue coming up there in the future as well. I also know that very senior people, they have left. Actual reason is only if you do happen to talk to those people, and if they speak out from the core of their heart why they left. Was it sheer pay packages or something else? That you have to talk to them. But then there are series of things which has happened in the last few years. One is the proficiency or the skill level of our products. The series of failures, PSLV 61 and 62 failed, GSLV F10 failed, and for very minor reasons. PSLV is a workforce, and it failing doesn't. I am unable to digest why PSLV successive failure happened there, which is the workforce. Remember, in R&D, as long as you are doing the R&D, you are inventing a new item. Failures are part of it, and we learn a lot of lessons from there. This PSLV is already a workforce. It is a frozen design. Everything is there. Still, it is failing. Now, people have to for ISRO. I have been telling you last 3, 4 years, 5 years that there is a need of a Q&A independent of ISRO management. There is a need of certification agency independent of ISRO management. Now, the two PSLV have failed only because some component, some system has not been tested that it meets the specification what it was designed for, and that is what is the reason for GSLV F10. One small thing, relief valve of the hydrogen tank, that failed. So that has caused the entire thing to go off. So if QA is responsible, and someone should be held accountable for all this, these major failures, someone should be held accountable. And ISRO is pretty soft in its administration. It tries to please everyone. Good. As a scientist, I will feel elated that if I have made a mistake, a genuine mistake, and if I am let to come over those sort of failures, I will be elated. But then such things...
for me, these are a lot of hard words coming from men who speak very softly, obviously all three of you speak very softly, but hard words are coming out of you. Dr. Ram Srivastava, Group Captain Jha made a very important point about those frozen designs of PSLV. And how come our numbers have reduced this time? There were certain targets also. As per those targets, we are not able to meet them. What is happening, sir?
Look here, my experience as far as the different projects are concerned is slightly different. Whatever I have seen in the last initial stages and the present one, there is a big gap. That gap is previously all the researches, all the developments, they are confined in the ISRO campus only. And now what is happening? We have started taking the procedure of private organization, doing a particular part, they are submitting their tender, and we are accepting it. This tender business has ruptured this is my opinion, maybe wrong, but it is to be investigated thoroughly.
But sir, then what about civil space synergy? If you don't allow private money, then that is also an issue. Look at America, there's a lot of private participation.
Agreed totally, provided the fundamental research is to be conducted in the campus of the ISRO only. For the industrial application, we can go there, we can bring it there, but one should check the fundamental researches being developed in the campus. At present, I should not say, but I am told that nearly 30 to 40% project supplements are being purchased from the market by the tender procedure. And I don't know whether it is good or bad, but this is a fact. It has created frustration in those scientists who are actually working. And second important point is, our ISRO is in the penetrating eyes of the enemy countries, including other advanced countries. There are so many countries which doesn't want that India should develop in ISRO so fast. Now, one of the examples is in Nambi Narayan case.
Okay, I just want to get back to this PSLV. How do we restore India's workhorse, Gauraza? How do we restore India? That's an important point raised by Group Captain Jha.
Yeah, before I answer PSLV problem, let me point out that by this privatization, are we going to kill ISRO? Is this disturbing development points out that we are going to kill eventually ISRO by privatization? Remember that there are two different models of development. One, China has pursued, India also pursued for a very long time, that we will not let private companies to enter into space research, and they also did not want to come into space research. Now it has become lucrative, and therefore private partners are coming in. So there is a model which China has pursued, which USSR pursued. Another model is American model. But remember, these two countries, USSR and America, were in the game for a very, very long time. They could deviate. We were not as matured as they were in space technology. We did wonderful job. There is no two opinions about it. But we did extremely good job. But we were not as matured as these two countries were. So was it a right decision to enter, to let the private partners enter into space research as of now? I think uh, Dr. Rama has made a very, very pertinent point that it could be because of privatization. And also Dr. Jha has made this point that it could be because of that. Because their purpose is not national pride. Their purpose is not what Dr. Jha has just now
Hello.
said, that we work as scientists, we work for achieving excellence in science. We do not work only for money. Yes, money is important, salary is important, but we don't work for it. Nowhere scientists ever, history shows, have worked for money. So it is not only the money, there is a serious problem within the organization probably, but the serious problem is not only limited to ISRO. It is much more acute in CSIR, in DRDO, in atomic energy, and also in biotechnology. Those institutions are also, we do not know about them. ISRO is being highlighted, and I'm very happy that it has been highlighted, and some of the policy makers will take lessons from that. Now,
Okay.
coming to what happens to one of our workhorses. Why? Mistakes can happen. Even ISRO could have made mistakes. Even a mature technology, running a car is a mature technology, but one of the cars may break down, even if it's a very, very mature technology. Of course, one has to find out the reasons for even one breakdown, but the mistakes can happen. And when you are dealing with mind-boggling, cutting-edge technology as well as sciences, a mistake can happen. It has happened. In fact, our record is better than US record, by the way. ISRO's record has been, success record has been better than US record. But anyway, my point is that mistakes could happen. We may not achieve what we have planned. Even with mature technology, even our workhorse may fail once in a while, but the reasons have to be found out.
No,
And Jha
because
Saab has pointed out very well.
I have a
that
difference of opinion, Mr. Raza. Why can't money and national pride be compatible? I mean to say both can happen at the same time. I work in a private news organization. Wait a minute. I've given you a lot of time, sir. I've given you a lot of time. Why can't they be compatible, Mr. Jha? Can't you be making money and still be proud of your achievements?
Obviously, you can. Look, if you look at us, the gray hair people generation of India, the Newton's first law is absolutely evident to us, most of us. Some do think outside of the Newton's first law. We are reluctant of the change. In DRDO, I'll tell you, I was working with about a dozen of the projects of LCA. And when we worked out a model of PPP, private public partnership, and with the L&T coming up there, with some other agency coming up, absolutely we worked wonders. And look, in the DRDO, you will have hundreds of the projects which are seeing the light of the day now these days. And what we do, we, the scientists, we work on the R&D, we incorporate outside players, the outside industries, outside willing people, even the startups. We take them, we do some amount of hand-holding for them to grasp the technology, to understand the technology, and then they do the manufacturing part of it. you know what happens? I as a scientist, I need not make rocket PSLV in ISRO. If the design is already frozen, if the project is already successful, then if the components are made as per the design specifications, meeting those requirements in the absolute terms, having absolutely no deviance. Remember, this is rocket technology. It is not car or anything else. It is a rocket technology, wherein even 0.0000.
If we are not going to invite private sector into high-tech technology, how are we going to build our industrial base? How are we going to build our R&D? How are we going to be building our various other strategic, spheres? We cannot be dependent on only government apparatus.
Absolutely, Karthikeyan, you have hit the head. So we have to promote, we have to encourage these private people to come up with the manufacturing. See, my job is not to manufacture rocket. My job is to do the innovation into this, R&D of this. Why are we lagging behind China and everything in the heavy lift? We can lift as much as, say, right now, only 8 tons. Why we are unable to lift 15 tons, 20 tons, 25 tons? Because our scientists were held up in the routine exercise of producing the same thing, GSLV, PSLV, or some small SSLV, small things. We are not thinking big at that. The scientists should be involved into the R&D. All this procurement, do procurement from outside, but adhere to your QA, strict QA, quality assurance. If those parts meets your specifications in the absolute terms, there is absolutely no harm in taking all those things. And some of the failures, PSLV, PSLV 61, it failed because the decoupling didn't happen of the third and fourth stage. That was a very slight deviation in the specifications, and that was the reason. Why did our GSLV F10 fail? Because that dam relief valve, which cost just couple of thousands of rupees, that didn't meet the specification. It leaked out at a much lower pressure. So that led to the entire thing happen. So do encourage the private players, adhere to the QA, I repeat it, adhere to the absolute rigid QA by independent agency in your own setup. Don't have your ISRO people doing the QA. Who can cut corners.
So I've really run short of time. I've really run short of time. I'm only accommodated 25 minutes. It's already 28. I thank all 3 of you for joining me. But the moot issue here is that a brain drain is taking place. The government has taken notice of it. Certain actions have been put in place. But the bigger issue is I, as a journalist, feel that private, government, synergy, which is military, civil society synergy is fundamental for any revolution that is to take place. Both of them cannot be in silos. We need private industry in our tech sector. And I think that's the long and short of it, but we should also know how to retain our scientists. So this is all I had on point 1. Don't go away. I'll come back after a short break. And in on point 2, we'll talk about a revolutionary thing happening in Kinnaur. The fallout from the deadly ambush on the church leaders in Manipur is now rapid.